Mission Nonprofit is a community access television show and podcast produced by Thurston Community Media. It is available on iHeartRadio, Apple iTunes, and Spotify, as well as on Xfinity Channel 77 in Thurston County, Washington, on YouTube, and on demand at TCMedia.org. This episode features the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, an organization that supports victims of fire and other natural disasters, as well as students in need, with food, school supplies, and hygiene products.
Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
This program is provided in the public interest by Thurston Community Media. More information at tcmedia.org. Hello, I'm Robert Cam, your host for Mission Nonprofit. Today, we have Derek Johnson, president of the Olympia Firefighters Foundation. Welcome to the show, Derek.
Thanks, Robert. Appreciate it.
So, the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, you put out fires.
Yes.
Well, you do that in your day job, but what does the foundation do?
So the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, this is broad in scope, but we enrich our community through charitable donations and acts of kindness. And again, like I said, that's very broad, but we kind of break it down into three things. And that is, one, providing opportunities to youth within our community, more specific to safe and secure educational environment for them. Then we provide relief to victims of fires and other catastrophic emergencies. And also we provide assistance to those in crisis or any other unforeseen circumstances.
Okay, so with the youth aspect, you help people through the schools, but in other ways too. Is it mostly through the schools? What kind of
so we partner with both the Olympia and Tumwater school districts, as well as Together. So Together is in, they have a community partnership with the Tumwater school district. Used to be with Olympia, now it's just with Tumwater, and they have a community schools program. So in the Tumwater school district, we work with Together and the counselors or the community schools employees that are there. And then also with the Olympia school district, we work with the staff and the counselors.
Okay, and so you're helping these students with meals, with hygiene products, backpacks. What are some of the other things you provide for the students?
So we have established currently 4 different pantries, 2 in the Olympia School District and 2 in the Tumwater School District. And through those, we are able to provide shelf-stable foods for kids to maybe go home on the weekends and they don't have a secure, sustainable food source at home. Also, like you said, hygiene products or school supplies, backpacks, coats. And in addition to that, we always, I shouldn't say always, but every year we've done a Coats for Kids program. And this past year we were able to actually give out 850 coats to kids in 4 schools, 2 in the Olympia School District and 2 in the Tumwater School District.
Nice, okay. And so those pantries, let's talk about those pantries. They're just available in the schools, like, I don't know, are they in the lunchrooms? Where are they, where the kids can grab food from them?
Yeah, so for example, Tumwater High School, we work with a community schools manager, and she has an office space that we have provided lockers for, and also those shelf-stable foods and hygiene products or school supplies, and they just come in, they sign in, they get what they need, and they go. So it's an opportunity for them to not have to be in front of everybody. They may feel embarrassed if they have to go in and grab deodorant or something like that. And it's a safe space that they can go. It is supervised, but they just go in, get what they need, and leave. And
backpacks too, right?
Yeah, backpacks. There's pens, more coats pencils. There, underwear, socks, pens, pencils. Opportunity for them if they don't have a safe or secure opportunity to have food at home on the weekends. They'll send them home with goodie bags or food bags for the weekends with shelf-stable food. Also on breaks or extended periods of time when they're away from school, we recently just partnered with the Olympia School District and sent kids home with spring break bags. That was something for them with whether it be shelf-stable foods, or games or other activities for them to have, because spring break's a relatively long break as well. I know we normally focus on Thanksgiving in terms of Thanksgiving baskets and meals, but spring break is another one as well that kids are gone for a long period of time and may not have a sustainable food source at home.
And those foods are easy for the kids to make themselves, is that right?
Yeah, it's usually canned goods or macaroni, things that are easy to make. We do a lot of like ramen. Ramen noodles and stuff like that. But it's stuff that lasts quite a while, but also is easy for them to make at home.
Is it something, I think probably with the schools they may have qualify for free lunch too. So this is kind of
separate from that, right?
Yes, separate from the free and reduced lunch programs. And that's not something that we necessarily dive into. This is just anybody that is in need has the opportunity to go into these pantries and take.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. What about during the summer? Are there programs like this for the summer when they're out of school?
Yeah, so during the summer this past summer, Orla is where they had their program, and so we supplied pantry items at the Olympia Regional Learning Academy. So.
Okay, great. Now, and we talked about school supplies and backpacks, and then coats. So is there a certain time of year that you provide the coats, and how do they tap into that?
So the beginning of each school year, we send out, first we start by meeting with counselors and identifying the needs. Okay. And so this last year we identified 2 schools, again with the Olympia School District, Garfield Elementary and LP Brown, and then 2 schools within the Tumwater School District, being Peter G. Schmidt and Michael T. Simmons. And we went to those counselors, found out the way to best find those individuals with needs. And in order to broaden our scope while giving as much as we can, we sent out notices to every student that went home to their families just after the start of school. We were able to, without giving away any identifiable information, have them fill out a needs request for coats. And so, like I said, we were able to give 850 coats to any student with a need, including their families, throughout those entire schools.
So like adult coats were provided too?
Adult coats were provided
Nice.
as well. If they had siblings that needed coats, we were able to do that. So there's quite a large amount of coats that we were able to distribute, and it was evidenced by the forms that came back to us. The need is so much greater than just those students, right, within the schools. And we're able to identify 4 specific schools, but there is still so much more. And we were able to reach, just through sending those out to the 4 schools, additional schools as well, because maybe they had an older brother or sister, or maybe mom and dad really needed a coat as well. And it was an opportunity for them to just ask, and we were able to provide. So that was pretty cool.
So that's at the beginning of the school year that you do that every year?
Yeah, usually so September, we have them fill out those requests, and we're trying to fulfill those by October.
Yeah. Okay, great. And then victims of fire. So people lost everything. How do you help them out?
So normally as a fire department, we try and partner with the Red Cross. So myself, for example, within the city of Olympia, we could partner with Red Cross to assist victims of fires. But more specifically when it comes to the larger needs, so I don't know if you remember the large fire that we had in that, the arson fire, downtown Olympia, just a couple years ago now. But that caused a lot of distress within the community. Not only were there businesses that were displaced, but there's also a family that was living in an apartment above one of those businesses that lost everything.
Yeah.
And so outside of the needs of maybe Red Cross or something like that, we're able to go to those individuals or those businesses and provide them with a little bit of money or some rental assistance. Or specifically for that family, we were able to partner with the school district to get them housing as well as clothes and whatever else they needed to get by.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, you can just imagine all of your belongings gone and your, just your family heirlooms and things and your pictures and everything.
It's a really vulnerable time for people, and
Yeah.
I know that it's tough to talk about, but it's also tough to ask for help. And so that's where we are able to
Make
step
that
in
easy.
and no questions asked.
Yes.
Let's get you exactly what you need so you don't feel like it's a burden on anybody else. That's what we're at.
Yes, good point, because you don't want to have to go out and make a GoFundMe or something like that.
Yeah. And we are very fortunate. Our community stepped up in a huge way for all of those businesses and that family. And we were just one of the other avenues to help provide what they needed. So we're super fortunate to have that as well.
Let's talk about how you're able to do all this. Like, where does your funding come from?
So we have a few community-based partnerships, but our big fundraiser that we do every year is in partnership with Nicole's Bar downtown. We do a charity auction. And we do it once a year. It's usually in the summertime. Occasionally we've done it in the fall. But in the past, we partnered at Pints Barn with Nicole Andres. And that's kind of been something that Tumwater did specific to their Coats for Kids program, and that's been ongoing for almost 10 years now. But with Coats for Kids specifically, which is another nonprofit that's sort of endorsed by fire department union locals, all of the money that gets raised for Coats for Kids stays in Coats for Kids. And so when it came time to look at what our other options were and the impact that we could make within our communities, because the need is there, we separated and created this nonprofit and are now able to do an annual fundraiser, and all of that money then goes towards other needs outside of Coats as well, but goes outside those other community needs as well.
And that's going to be coming up in July, right?
Yes.
You have the date?
July 22nd, starts
July
at 4.
22nd, okay.
Going to do a live and silent auction, have lots of really great stuff already. Kylie Juergens is one of our sponsors. Nicole's, of course, is a sponsor as well. And Oli Light Stravaganza, they've given some donations, but lots of cool stuff. Round trip airfare from Alaska, flight to Cancun.
Wow. So people can go bid on those things and know their money is going to a good cause.
Yes. Yeah, and all of that money raised goes directly back into the community.
Excellent. Well, so that's great. And kudos to Nicole's and the other sponsors were?
Kylie Juergens is one of our sponsors currently, and Olympia, or Oli Light Stravaganza. 10th and Central. They do the big...
They do the Christmas lights.
Yeah, the Christmas lights
displays
every year.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So those are 3 of our community partners right now. We're still looking for more. So if anybody is interested in being a sponsor, we'd love to have them. If anybody has anything that they would like to donate for silent or live auction items as well, we're more than willing to take that as well.
It could be a local business donating something, like a gift certificate or something, right?
Absolutely. And usually we're soliciting interest. Probably in the next month or so, we'll be getting out to some of those businesses, but this is another opportunity as well. If folks are listening, or
let's make sure they know where to go if they want to do that. So they probably go to your website.
So it's olympiafirefightersfoundation.org, and that has all of the information and a link to click to sign up for our auction as well as be a sponsor.
Excellent.
There's also just a general donation page like most websites if they wanted to just make an in-kind donation.
Perfect. Okay. Do you need volunteers for anything?
Volunteers are needed, and it sort of depends on the time of year. When coats are going on, that's a really busy time for us. So in the fall, we're always looking for volunteers. And throughout the year, it's an organization that, yes, we're rooted in fire, but the community is really where our service needs are. And so anybody from in the community, if they wanted to be a part of it, are more than welcome to come and volunteer and help us out.
What about stocking those pantries and hygiene products? Do you need help doing that, or do you guys just take care of that? You go to the schools yourself and do that?
Yeah, so we're fortunate that right now within our group of folks or our foundation members, we have families or individuals that are able to go fulfill those requests. But if anybody is interested and is looking to help out, there are opportunities there.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good for them to know. Great. So people can help you by sponsoring the auction, going to that auction on the 22nd, July 22nd at Nicole's at 4 o'clock. So make sure you put that on your calendars. I'm sure information about that is on your website.
It is.
Yes, great. And you also have a Facebook, is that right?
Yes, we have a Facebook. It's the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, as well as an Instagram page, which is Olympia Firefighters Foundation.
Okay, so they should follow those so they can keep track.
Follow our pages, see what's going on. We're always sending out stuff on our happenings and what's been going on.
So I know you have like some Tumwater schools and some Olympia schools, right?
That's correct.
Okay, excellent. And then you guys do you cover just Olympia and Tumwater then? Or do you cover Lacey as well? Or do you cover the county?
So currently, most of what we do is within the communities of Olympia and Tumwater.
Okay.
If there are other needs that arise, our board is typically reviewing those requests that come in. But sometimes there are needs that are further reaching than Olympia and Tumwater. But most of what we do is within the school districts.
Okay.
There are a few other opportunities that we have where we've adopted families over the holidays and done things like that, where it may be a little bit further outside of our communities. But most of what we try and do is directly in Olympia and Tumwater.
Great. Okay. And then this is all on top of your busy job of being a firefighter, right? Do you have a title with the fire department?
Yes, I'm a fire lieutenant with the City of Olympia.
All right, great, sweet. So I don't know, maybe do you have any future plans for what to do for the community? Do you have any other goals that you want to meet in the next 5 or 10 years?
Yeah, so a couple of those goals we've already kind of started to work towards. The last few years we've started to identify, again, not only we're expanding from coats, right? That's kind of where we started. We're expanding from there. We've started to work on these pantry programs. We'd love to continue to develop more pantry programs throughout both school districts. we know that Together is a great partner with the Tumwater School District. Right now, the Olympia School District does not have that. And so we would love to continue to develop pantries within the Olympia School District and further reach those needs within that community. And then Tumwater as well. There's a lot of other schools that just because we don't have a pantry there doesn't mean that they don't have needs. So that's one big priority for us, is to continue to establish that pantry program and further grow that piece. Also, we do a Santa photos, and like I said, we adopt some holiday families every year. And that's another opportunity for us to continue to grow there. And a lot of those requests come in through the school districts, but also through the community as well. If somebody reaches out to maybe the fire department or Giving Trees within the community, and somebody can't necessarily meet their needs for the holidays. We were able to adopt 8 different families this holiday season and provide anything from gifts for their kids to a brand new washer and dryer because a family didn't have that. So we're hoping to continue to grow that opportunity as well. And the coats, again, we've tried to focus on a few schools, but this last year we were very fortunate to be able to give coats to any kid or their family member that needed it within those 4 schools. We'd love to continue to grow that as well. But of course, everything's limited by funding. So as long as we continue to have some money coming in, we'd love to continue to give as much away as we can.
Yeah. There's people watching that are in the position to maybe help and donate and provide, a donation to the silent auction, or go to the silent auction and bid on things. But there might be people watching that need your help, right?
Yeah.
So what's a good avenue for them to approach you, discreetly without, people knowing that they do need your help?
Yeah, so most of our requests, again, come in through the school districts, but they've also come in through community partners that have identified needs. Together, or through Nicole specifically. She has, found some other individuals that were in need of help, but the school districts as well. And also, if anybody just has needs, feel free to reach out to our email, or it's olyfffoundation@gmail.com.
All right.
And we're able to respond to emails directly from there. And if there's needs within the community, we want to be able to meet them.
Mm-hmm. And if somebody has, their house is burned down, or they've been the victims of a fire, you probably know about that and you're on top of it. You're going to help them immediately. Or do they need to find you and reach out and say, hey, we lost everything, we could use some support?
So typically what happens in that situation is, like, the fire happens, right? Units respond. Everybody has been involved in that situation knows that there's sort of a transition between, yes, they've responded, they've put out the fire in my home, and now what? Mm-hmm. We as the fire department can only do so much. Like I said, we try and partner with the Red Cross for some housing or other needs. But there comes a point where, like a breakover point, I guess, where the fire department steps back and community volunteers, nonprofits, et cetera, step in. And so as the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, we're able to do that. Typically we know about it because, again, we're directly intimately serving the communities of Olympia and Tumwater.
Right.
But there's also opportunities or things that might arise where we don't know about it, or it may be something smaller, and we're still able to help out with that. And if not, we can point them in the right direction. Good. We do partner with some other nonprofits, specifically True Responders. They're another first responder-based organization that helps in those types of situations, more specific to victims of fires or domestic violence or other types of emergencies. But if we can't help directly, we almost always know another avenue to help.
Gotcha. Okay. Well connected. The heroes of the community.
We try.
And you're so modest about it. So, we're running out of time, but is there anything that you wanted to discuss, when you came on the show? Is there anything that you wanted to talk about that we didn't get a chance to talk about?
The first big thing, of course, we've touched on it quite a few times, but we have our auction coming up on the 22nd of July. We'd love for people to come out and support in any way that they can. If they can't be there in person, we'd love to have any donations or sponsorships. We're always looking for more community partners. And also for those that are maybe just looking to help out, we've recently been approved to be a part of the Combined Fund Drive, which is all state employees. They have an option to do a direct deposit donation out of their paychecks to a nonprofit of their choosing. So we've recently been approved as a part of the Combined Fund Drive, and folks that are state employees are more than welcome to donate that way as well.
So they just want to check your box when it comes to making their
There's
donations.
lots of nonprofits with need. We would appreciate it. But if the opportunity arises, we would love to see it.
Awesome. If they think this is a really good cause and a great way for me to make an impact, then they'll check that box and donate to the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. So, well, thank you for being on the show, and thanks for being a community hero and helping all the people in need. And yeah, thanks for being on the show, Derek.
Thank you very much. We appreciate the opportunity.
That's all we have for you today. To find out more about the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, go to their website at olympiafirefightersfoundation.org. You can also find them on Facebook at the Olympia Firefighters Foundation, or reach them by email at olyfffoundation@gmail.com. Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Support for Mission Nonprofit is provided by Thurston Talk.
This program is provided in the public interest by Thurston Community Media. More information at tcmedia.org.